Hey, welcome everybody to my next tutorial, and in this one I'm going to explain a little bit about the prop pitch, but I'm not going to go too deep into the theory because it's really not very important for you to understand, and more certainly I'm going to show you how to use the prop pitch in order to get your rounds per minute at a good amount. So if you look at the propeller now, and I'm changing, I'm lowering the prop pitch now. You see at the silhouette of the propeller that I'm turning the propeller. You see, if you look very closely, you see how the silhouette of the propeller is getting thicker. It's going very slowly, but you see how the silhouette is getting bigger and thicker. And by this I changed the angle of attack with which my propeller cuts through the air. And if you imagine the propeller like a screw, take a look at a screw. There is a helical ridge wrapped around the screw. And this so-called thread, if the angle of this thread is big, you will need more power to screw the screw into some wood for one turn. If this thread is tighter together and the distance between each new circle is smaller, it would take fewer power for the screw to be screwed into the air. So this is everything I'm going to give you about the theory, because I do not completely understand it myself, and I cannot explain it to you because I cannot explain it in English. But imagine it like a screw, and if this thread around the screw, the angle would be bigger or lower, you would change the amount of power that it would need to take the screw and turn it around into the wood once. So now that I've lowered the prop pitch, and this angle would be very small, so I would need a lot of turns with this propeller to shuffle through an amount of air where I could shuffle the same amount with fewer turns if this angle was bigger. So forget it. It's not important. It's really not important. What is important is that you lower the prop pitch to the maximum amount, to the minimum amount, and this is happening when you have it at 12 o'clock. Here you see the prop pitch, and when this is at 12 o'clock you lowered it to its minimum. And this is, for example, the best situation for the starting of the plane. I'm now going to start the plane. And for every newbie, for example, maybe you had it happen that your engine was suddenly damaged while you were flying. This was most certainly either because you didn't control your rounds per minute properly, or because you didn't open your water cooler or oil cooler. But now, the only thing you need to know about the prop pitch is it's just a way to control your rounds per minute. And here you see your rounds per minute. The rounds per minute should be between 2,300 and 2,500 rounds per minute in the BF109. And by controlling and using this device, you will lower or raise your rounds per minute. And this is really all you need to know. So if you see that your rounds per minute are getting too high, you use your prop pitch to get them in the healthy amount of rounds per minute. And if you see your rounds per minute are too slow and you have no good performance, the power of your plane is pretty weak, you do everything with the prop pitch to raise your rounds per minute once again. So now that I'm starting, I have the rounds per minute. I want the rounds per minute to be at about 2,000. And in order to get to 2,000 rounds per minute, I have to lower the prop pitch to the minimum. If I now, for example, would raise the prop pitch, you will see how the rounds per minute go down. You see that? You hear it. You hear it also. Yeah? And this would be too few rounds per minute to take off. So I want to get to 2000 rounds per minute, and I do this by the prop pitch. So now I'm going to take off. And now that I'm in a climbing situation, I want to have a low prop pitch. So I want to have it at 12 o'clock. When I'm climbing very high, very fast and very hard, you need the prop pitch to be like it is now. See? At 12 o'clock. So when I'm getting into a horizontal movement and I'm not using as much power anymore, you hear how my rounds per minute are getting higher. And now I'm getting into an amount of rounds per minute where it's getting close and dangerous for my engine. When I'm even diving down a little bit, my rounds per minute are going to become very high, and now is the time where my engine starts to take some damage. So I'm raising the prop pitch now. And my rounds per minute are alright again. So always listen a little bit to your engine, and when you hear that it's going too high with the rounds per minute, you have to adjust it by using the prop pitch. And this is all you need to know or to understand. You just want to get the rounds per minute at the right amount. You do not want to get them too high or too low, because your engine won't either have as much power as you want him to, and the performance will be bad, or you will destroy your engine. And I'm now going to show you what happens if you do not adjust your prop pitch and you just So I've now climbed up pretty high, and now I'm going to go into a dive and not control my prop pitch, and you will see that my engine is going to fail after some time. So you see now the rounds per minute are getting to 3000. You hear how the engine is going higher and higher, and now it's very high. We are over 3000 rounds per minute, and now it's the point, it's reached where my engine is vibrating. It's damaged. Now very soon some oil is going to leak out of it, and well, yeah, if this happens to you during a dogfight, you're pretty much screwed. So always keep an eye on the rounds per minute. If you are going a little bit over 2500, it's no big deal. Even for a few minutes it's no big deal. But if you reach 3000 rounds per minute, it's going to kill your engine within maybe 10 seconds. So this is what happens if you do not control the rounds per minute with the prop pitch. So I hope you now understand a little bit more about the theory, but of course this is really not very important. The most important thing is just that you know the prop pitch is a way to control your rounds per minute. The other way is of course using your throttle. Lowering or raising your throttle is going to lower or raise your rounds per minute, of course, too, but the prop pitch as well. So keep an eye on that. Thank you for watching.